Hello everyone and welcome back to the Limit of Adhesion for the very first round of the brand new Touring Car Championship. Today we're at Knockhill. I'm Dom and joining me in the booth today is Gareth. Gareth, how are you doing?
I'm excellent, thanks Dom. Looking forward to this fantastic new championship. Should be very exciting to watch.
Absolutely. We got lots of new faces on the grid, brand new cars to not only to the league but to iRacing as well, of course, with the new Honda Civic and the Hyundai Elantra joining just after Christmas time, was it, or just before Christmas? Anyway, practice results are in, and a
Christmas.
Potentially familiar name for some of you at the top of the timing starts there is Charles Rainford, the professional Porsche Cup driver, has joined the league. What do you make of that, Gareth?
Yeah, it's very good to have a professional driver with us from Uckfield, actually, in Sussex, so not too far from some of the other drivers like Ollie Walker, Gareth Winslade and David Lyne.
Ah, more Southerners joining the fray, hey?
Yeah, indeed.
So results are in from quali, and no surprise, Charles is on pole position from David Tuamalarin in third, from James O'Reilly in fourth, and Charlie Langridge bringing out the top five. You can see an absolutely stacked grid today at what is a very tight little track here in Scotland.
Yeah, tiny track, 1.2 miles. The only FIA grade circuit in Scotland, though. It's been around since the 1970s, so fairly new compared to some of the British circuits we race on later in the season.
Yes, absolutely. So here the cars are on the grid, and you can see that same qualifying order now in grid form. I do believe Knockhill is also one of the only tracks that's certified to run in both directions.
Yeah, and it's a brilliant challenge going the other direction down into that tight hairpin to open the lap rather than complete it. I did that in the F3 in silly season, and my goodness, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, and taking the dip backwards as well. I think I suffered that in the Kia at some point, and yeah, that's a challenge as well.
Yes, indeed, yeah, and look at this grid, so many new names, really good to see them all on the grid with us. We'll be talking and getting to know them throughout the season.
Absolutely, so you can see Charles there on pole as we're getting ready for the lights. He's taken his Porsche Cup livery and put it on the Hyundai, so we've christened it the Porkundai for the season.
Yeah.
A long hold. And we are racing at Knockhill for round one of the Touring Car Championship. Looks like a really good start for most of the field there. Pretty even off the line. Someone on the grass already off to the side. Was that Chris Forrester in the Chrome Civic? Almost three wide down the dip.
Take a while to learn these liveries, isn't it?
Absolutely. Fortunately, we've got
there's a risky
30
round.
Races. Oh, there's carnage. There's a pink car off in the background. Is that Burnett, I think, in the pink livery?
Yes, I think you might be right. Oh, door banging there as it came out of the chicane there.
Absolutely, there's a car off to the right. I think that's one of the LSR. Yeah, it is, David. I'm sorry in advance, David. We're going to go for Le Catelier.
Yeah.
David and Thomas Robin, two of our French drivers on the grid this season. Mon français, c'est pas facile or terrible or something like that. We'll do our best.
Really unfortunate start for David. He was on the front row with Charles Rainford and now all the way down in 18th place.
Absolutely, that contact through the chicane there looked like a little bit of netcode to me, and it just forced him out onto the gravel there.
Yeah. So we've got Charlie Langridge in the Lesser Tools Limited, and then we've got Charles Rainford sporting the King Dick livery. This is a bit of a penis meme joke league, is it?
Battle of the Chars and Battle of the Dicks as well, eh?
Yeah.
Great line from Stott there up through the chicane. Runs it all the way out on exit. Not quite in the gravel. These TCRs, it seems, once you get a couple of wheels on the grass, they pull you further off track rather than saving themselves, I found.
I don't think I've ever experienced a car that's so like that. You just it's almost the death knell the moment you get on the grass with these things. It just drags them straight into the barrier, like you say. Absolutely lethal.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd think with the front wheel drive they'd be able to pull themselves out of trouble, but it's just not the case. But as we look through the order then, Rainford, no surprise, is still leading the race, pulling a nice gap over Malarin in second, and Parker up to third. I think he started outside the top five on the grid, so decent climb for him in the first couple of laps here. Yeah,
and Oilver Walker, I wonder if that's any relation of Ollie Walker. That's his Charles Rainford's teammate.
And to add to confusion, Charles is running 0.23 and Ollie is running just 23 for the season, so two matching liveries with very similar numbers just to confuse us all season long.
Yes, indeed, yeah. So there's Stephen Greening from the Risky Racing Blue team, and he's getting involved here a couple of cars.
Yeah, that's Abbott. I think he's putting the move on, and a bit of a bumper there going into the final corner.
Nerfs him out of the way. Proper touring car move that. Unlucky for Shane there from the iRacing team. Gets going again.
Absolute punt to pass there. I noticed David was dropping down the order just there as well, and he's now showing in the pit lane in 29th place.
Oh, it's a big shame for his debut race with the LOA. Hope he can come back strong in race 2.
Yeah, absolutely, because both him and Thomas in the test races before the season started were both very fast.
Yeah. Look at Tor Malarin then, in the Lesser Tools Limited, not in QRS for the TCR League. We know he's left the GT3 QRS team as well, so the old QRS founders only in one team in the F3 now. Yeah,
absolutely. And interestingly, running a different car to his teammate. Charlie is in the Hyundai and Tor there is in the Audi.
Yeah, really under pressure from Dom Parker there in 3rd place.
Here is Stott then in the new coloured QRS for this season. It's kind of a pinky red colour, isn't it? Battling with the other Lesser Tools car there.
Yeah.
This car's flashed past the start-finish line.
And Gavin Kelly now joining the QRS team for TCR. It's an interesting mix.
So there have been lots of moves and shakers. And who's that side-by-side in the background there?
That's one of the...
one of the Woke
Kings, wasn't it? Yeah, that's like you say, that was Kelly from QRS.
Oh, that's Charlie. Well side was off in the gravel there. We've also got Patrick Outricky on the grid for today as well. He featured heavily in silly season, close towards the top of the entire championship.
Yeah, he was an absolute demon, wasn't he? And that he nearly was running for the title until the last couple of rounds. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he might have started the final round in the lead, but then dropped to 3rd in that final race.
Yeah, such a shame. That's Kelly getting the move back through on Winslade then, and we're on board with Winslade heading down the main straight. That's Kelly just ahead of us.
Sound good, this Civic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Nice car.
What's it like over the bumps here at Knockhill?
Unpleasant.
Car off in the gravel there. I just noticed as we went down the dip there from the onboard. And that is Outricky.
Oh, what a shame.
That was Patrick off in the gravel.
So now showing in 16th place, or dropping down even further. Let's hope he can regroup. Whoa!
Big
That's one of the arse racings. Yeah.
That was absolute commentator's curse for Patrick there, sorry.
Yeah, we've got a great feature coming up on the Limited Adhesion channel with Patrick soon with our a new Skip Barber feature, so keep an eye on that in the next couple of months. It's going to be should be a really good video to watch when we get that released.
Good move from one of the wizards there as Gavin gets up the inside of Cakebread.
On board with Gavin then, looking back at Stephen Cakebread. Our first South African driver, but he's brought a whole horde of them with him now, hasn't he?
He has, he's brought the masses. I would start trying to list off those that I could remember, but I'd hate to do a disservice to those that I would forget along the way.
Yeah, that's too risky for me. But yeah, no, it's so nice to have them all with us. Welcome to you all. And it's a very late night to be racing on a Wednesday evening.
And that's Parker getting up into P2 from Malarin, but Malarin looking for the cutback. Doesn't quite get the speed, didn't get the overrun.
Such a brilliant T1 that they're just about to tip their way into. There we go. And it's Malarin who's getting the right line. Yeah.
And a good counter pass by Malarin there to get the position back again. Parker all over the back of him there.
That Audi looked seriously bumpy. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's struggling with the suspension as he hammered over the bumps there himself. So the Audi also not looking very planted on the curbs.
Yeah, the Hyundai looked like it was just floating over the top of the curves, but the Audi really unsettled by them.
Yeah.
So the Wizards of Lift and Coast, a new team for this season.
Yeah, the absolute stable right the way across the limits of adhesion in Formula 3, GT3, touring cars, NASCAR Next Gen, and no doubt they'll be hitting the IndyCar as well. They're in both of the F3 championships as well. Oh no, that's Kelly round. Winslade's just nerfed him on the exit of the corner there. That's massively unfortunate. Here is Winslade then, under attack from Shane Abbott.
It was a big bump and run there. Kelly was off cutting the grass somewhere on the infield, on that little tri-oval that there is back there, isn't there? The three-corner oval.
Yeah, there's a lot of different setups for such a small layout. It's a really great little venue, this.
We're just starting to string out a little bit now as cars try and find their own little bits of space.
Yeah, and all I can think about now is Beatson's Building Supplies.
What about
There's
Oreos?
Gary Richards in the Oreos Honda Civic. As you hinted at, we are expecting the Civic to be the struggling car around this track compared to the Hyundai and the Audi.
Yeah, very early on it got a reputation for being a bit bouncy over the bumps, not being very good at handling the curb strikes.
Yeah, as we see, Abbott has powered past Winslade for 10th place.
That big arse of his doing a good job.
Yeah. Well, both of them gave a very wide berth to that inside curb. Oh, and who's that off in the grass?
Didn't see. I can't see any names dropping down the order either.
No, someone was miles off on the grass.
Weaver's just lost a position there. I wonder. And where's Malarin gone? Malarin was running P2.
Ah, was it Malarin then it was on the grass? He's just lost a load of laces, like you say.
Drama at the front then for Malarin, dropping outside of the podium positions.
Yeah. Oh, there's Kelly
QRS.
rejoining the track.
Ah, yes.
I wonder if he got some kind of penalty or forced a black flag for some reason. That'd be massively unfortunate after he got punted as well.
Absolutely, and now here is Malarin with an angry swarm behind him.
Yeah.
8 seconds Rainford's gap at the front there.
Ah, it's just ridiculously fast. Maybe we should start dead-legging him before each race.
Perhaps, or maybe just a car penalty. Maybe we should throw him in a V or something for a couple of rounds. It's a great sweeping camera shot here.
Oh, that's very nice indeed, isn't it? Showing you the hairpin. It looks much tighter when you're in the car, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely does, yeah. And the elevation change is always surprising as well.
Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit, we were talking about the reverse layout, sort of a bit like the turn 1 at Nürburgring. Turns the opposite direction, of course, but that sudden drop away in a almost hairpin turn.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Although I think this one's particularly worse because it's got a bit of off-camber as well. It's just got a bit of everything going on. It's
like they did it on purpose to punish us.
Yeah, this track would be boring if it was flat.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Here we are on board then with Mr. King Dick, Charles Rainford. Just spoke about his massive gap at the front.
Yeah, he's absolutely smashing it. Let's watch him through turn 1. Takes all that curb.
Nice and smooth on the inputs.
Super patient through turn 2. Waiting to set himself up for the entry to T3. Oh, someone off in front of him. So still learning all the liveries. Quite a few orange cars I've noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly helps them stand out on the TV broadcast, lets the sponsors get seen. I think the one ahead is one of the Weavers rocking WWC Racing this season.
That will be Jake Weaver then, who's carried his NASCAR Next Gen livery across to TCR.
Absolutely.
Also on a Civic then.
Yeah, used to seeing that orange livery in the usually winning the NASCAR races, to be fair. You can see the massive gap from P1. You can see it there illustrated from P1 back to Parker and O'Reilly.
Crazy, isn't it?
2 and 3.
Wow, look at Dom almost going sideways as he came through T1 there.
Yeah, O'Reilly's keeping him really honest here for P2.
Yeah. Not afraid of the bumps though in that Hyundai.
Lots of little battles still to unfold throughout the field here. Whoa, very sideways. Was that Kelly or Stott in the QRS? They are both running still, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I might have been stopped because there was a few cars piled up behind him, and I think Kelly's got a bit of a gap, and he's only got David Lecatelier behind him.
I like it, you said it with confidence, and it sounded good to me.
I went for it. But a reminder to all our drivers that, please do let us know if you have how you want us to pronounce your name in case we get it wrong. I think Merrin's just resigned to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I will 100% get them wrong. Maybe sometimes on purpose, wind slade.
Yes.
Speaking of a good performance for Windslade so far, just outside the top 10 and chasing down Abbott.
Yeah, but surely heading towards the steward's room after that punt on Kelly earlier on.
Yeah, potentially, but a good chance now to make up as many positions ready for the incoming axe.
Yes. So James O'Reilly then, is he one of our... I knew Shane started in silly season, but is this James's first debut LOA race, or was he in a silly season as well?
I want to say that James did the MX5 race, but I might be a liar. It's certainly his first official league race. He signed up, I think, specifically for the TCR. So great to have him on the grid with us. But yeah, don't hold me to it whether it's his first race completely with the LOA, but I'm fairly sure it's the first official one. It's not just silly shenanigans.
No. Colossal grid for that MX5 race as well.
Yes. It was almost rivaling the grid we've got here today, in fact.
Yeah.
Patrick got a massive run on Windslade there down the pit straight, but nowhere really to go with it that time.
No, but really showing the difference between a 3.5k driver and a sort of 1.3, 1.4k driver.
Yeah, absolutely. Spoke before about Patrick and his very mighty rating that he acquired through racing Skippy a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, and well worth checking out his channel for his onboard view of some touring car racing. Actually, he's very, very smooth behind the wheel.
He's the kind of driver that no matter what gets behind the wheel of, it goes fast, you know?
Yeah. Doesn't get flustered by people weaving around and driving sillily in front of him.
Flashing their headlights.
I'm not sure who we're thinking of.
This time Patrick does get the move done very nicely into the dip.
Yeah.
So quite an even spread of car manufacturers down the grid there. I was just looking at the timing tower. Quite an equal mix. The Hyundais have risen to the top this time from the Audis, and a few Hondas further down the ranks.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually, because I think, you know, the prevailing wind seemed to be that the Hyundai was the stronger car overall. You know, the Audi's quicker in a straight line and off the grid, and we're not quite sure where the Honda's good at yet, but I'm sure there's something. So to see it just like, you know, being such an even mix like you suggested, and in fact there's probably more Hondas on the grid than anything at the moment.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Looking further down the grid, there's a couple of retirements of course already, but yeah, there's quite a lot of Honda badges on that timing tower there.
Yeah, but the fact that P11 is the first Honda on the running, that's indicative of something. Oh, and look at that, they're running 53s, and I saw Charles earlier was running 51.
Oh, and Outricky goes very sideways down the dip there. Did he save it? He did not.
Spot.
I think that was Ettridge, yeah. Narrowly avoided by David.
So the Risky Boys all in Audis, very regimented in their car pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder who was the chief whipper to make sure they all fell in line.
Yeah. Well, you're a mole on their Discord, you should tell us.
I think Crichton's in charge of keeping them in line, isn't he?
I don't know, actually. I'll have to find out.
Monster in the curves there from Walker.
Yeah, he's really putting Sam Stott under a heck of a lot of pressure.
Stott doing a good job, though, keeping him at bay.
Yeah, and Charlie Langridge along for the ride.
So again, another cluster of 3 Hyundais. Fixed setups, of course, in this league, so it's all down to the driver. When you've got 3 matching brands like this, it is literally, you know, these cars are identical.
And a wonderful world tour of a calendar as well. It's very exciting.
Yeah, we starting obviously here in Scotland for 2 rounds, and then start heading further south down the UK, and then hop across the narrow sea towards Europe, and then hop across the big sea to North America, and then further across to Japan, and then Australia to finish the season.
Yeah, so we start as a British touring car season, and then it just evolves into a WEC. A WTCR season. Pretty cool.
Can you imagine WTCR?
Could see that one coming a mile off. Big old bang there for Michael Messenger.
Absolutely, it's like it's chasing us at Cruise there.
Yeah. Manual Cruise.
Yeah, can you imagine the the touring cars at Bathurst.
Oh, it should be a nightmare, yeah. Look at all the flashing going on by old Oily Walker.
Oily. Absolutely, he'll try anything he can to try and distract the person he's chasing. So far, still though, Sam is impervious to it.
Yeah.
Rumours are that... and then second guess myself whether I'm using them correctly or not. I should stick to one syllable words. The rumours? Go on, sorry.
Well, Jason Weaver's had to say to Ollie, no, I'm not going to adopt you however much you weave across the track. It's like Ollie Ettridge is trying to recover from his earlier error.
Yeah, chasing down
Callum Mitchener under a lot of pressure now.
Helen in the GT3 as well this season. He's not in the F3 though, if I remember correctly.
No, indeed.
Big chunk of curb for Ettridge there.
Yeah.
So a good run for Crew so far then, holding tight in 17th, paying the points down to position 15, so just outside the points right now, but yeah, it's got a lot of quick guys around him that he's hanging on with there.
Yeah, Messenger's just done him though.
Just a little bit wide here. Goes grass tracking in fact.
Well, it was like you were saying earlier, where that was a dodgy rejoin and a half. Whoa! They're all off. Dom's off. Solly Walker off. I beg your pardon.
I think Ollie almost took avoiding action, not knowing where Stott was going there, and ended off the road himself.
Yeah, Stott touched the grass, and the car just refused to come back on the track.
Ollie flashing the lights, but he flashes them so often we don't know what it means anymore. Is that anger? Is that I want to come through? Is that sorry? Is that...
Yeah.
Just noticed Winslade and Hoogovin have both just dropped down the tower. They're the last of the running positions now.
Yes, and good spot there. We'll see what happened to them.
So that's given Langers a bit of breathing space there as those two start squabbling again.
Yeah, and Stott scrambled back through ahead of Walker. Into our final minute of racing, so presumably it'll be +1 lap, depending on where Charles Rainford is.
Yeah, it's such a short lap as well, of course, sort of 52-ish second laps.
Yeah, and here he is.
Just take the white flag.
51.9 for him. Now the Wizards line astern now, look.
Just a few positions different though. I think Parker just put a lap on Hoogovin there.
Shane Abbott from the Arse Racing team going toe-to-toe with Ollie Walker. I wonder if Ollie's tyres have gone then, because he's suddenly fallen right off the back of Stott. Shane down the inside.
Oh, that was tight. Oily said, absolutely no chance am I giving you that one, sir.
Well, he's greased up his Hyundai to stop anyone trying to door up with him.
And here is Rainford then. We didn't see much of him. There wasn't probably much to report in his race. He's led it from flag to flag. Great first win for Charles Rainford there.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And look at that, a 52.0 on his final tour. So not really troubled by any tyres going off for him.
No, absolutely. I think that's a bit of a warning to his rivals there. Not only is he absolutely rapid, but keeps the tyres alive as well. Parker home in second, from O'Reilly in third, Robin fourth, Green in fifth, Millar in sixth, Langridge in seventh, Stott holding on from Walker in ninth, and Patrick and Abbott very close across the line there. There is Outricky there.
Shout out Stephen Cakebread, up 10 from his starting position in 13th place. That's a decent result for him, especially considering how late it is at night for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been tricky trying to keep track of where all the cars were throughout those races there. There seemed to be a lot going on at all times.
Yeah.
Run through orders. Yeah, so we got as far as Patrick in 11th and then Gary in 12th. Cakebread we mentioned in 13th there. Chris White picking up points for 14th, and Kellen with what I believe is his first LOA league race in 15th, picking up the final points paying up position. Try saying that 3 times after a few beers. Messenger 16th, Bardsley 17th, Ettridge 18th, Burnett 19th, Cruz in 20th, and then UPNF down towards the bottom there. So championship points, in order obviously as they finished. Rainford gets an extra point there for pole, and I think it was Lectelier with the fastest lap point in that race.
Shout out for Thomas Robin coming home in 4th place on his first LOA race. That was a great result.
Yeah, I think Thomas in the 2 test races got a P3 and then a victory in the Hockenheim test. So yeah, definitely got pace. So that's everything for our race 1 here from Knockhill. Got race 2 coming up very shortly. Anything to add before we go, Gareth?
Looking forward to race 2.
Absolutely. Reverse grid from position 12 for the reverse grid for race 2 there. So join us for that one, and we'll see you later.